capabilities, right? Understanding your limitations, understanding the terrain, understanding the enemy, and outflanking them. It's about moving to cover, right? Standing and shooting, yeah, that's cool on a static range if you're trying to build marksmanship. But combat shooting is about advancing that marksmanship, right? Because if you're coming out, let's just say you're coming out of your patrol car and you have a combatant starting to shoot you, would you stand out there and just draw your gun and shoot in part? Right. You'll seek cover, right? You seek cover or you seek concealment. What's cover? What's cover? Bus stops bullets. What's concealment? Is darkness concealment? Yes. Okay. All right. All right, guys. I need you to get into a certain mindset today, right? Combat pistol comes with a mindset, obviously, right? Because if I say, hey, aggressively move that gun, and you're not aggressively moving that gun, right, it's all in the mind. If you get frustrated today, it's all in the mind, okay? So it's not about getting frustrated. I'm here for you guys. I'm going to give you the skill set that kept me alive. I'm going to give you my struggles. I'm going to tell you my mistakes, and you take that lesson, man, and you put it into your world. Okay? And your world is to protect the community here. All right? Mindset is one of the most important things, guys. Mindset. Okay? And I can't really teach you that. But I will share a story with you. You know, when I was a young child, you know, I was a martial artist. I trained martial arts through my whole life, and it's not just the movements of martial arts, it's the path, right? It's the higher purpose of living. And one of the stories I read was, there was a story about a Zen master and a Zen professor. You see, the Zen professor, he wanted to travel and meet the Zen master, and he wanted to talk about the ways of Zen. So he traveled many distances to meet the Zen master. And as the Zen master and the Zen professor sat across from each other, the Zen professor just started talking. And it was early on in the conversation that the Zen master knew that you didn't care to have a conversation about Zen. You only cared to hear about what you have to say. So the Zen master put a teacup down, and he put a teacup in front of him. He took the teacup and he began to pour. The tea began to overflow. And the Zen professor said, hey, what are you doing? My teacup's full. I'm good. He said, exactly. How can you ever learn anything new? How can you ever take anything new? How can you absorb anything if you're so full of it? If you're so full of your own opinions? Empty out the cup today. Do not stop yourself from learning today because of the ego. Okay? Just let it go for a few hours. If you think you know, and it works for you, and I come up and I said you can do faster, and I demonstrate it, then just for a few hours, believe me, and try it. Because you will never learn anything new unless you try something new, right? Talk about the fundamentals of pistol, all right? So there's 7 fundamentals of pistol marksmanship. Can I have one? Give me one. Stance. Breathing. Come on, guys. Come on. Not just one guy. Come on. Sight alignment. Trigger control. Sight picture. Okay, so you guys know this shit, right? All right, so let's talk about it. So how I divide it is, hey, first is stance, right? I got to stand. All right, so how I divided stance is, man, I went into weaver stance. We know what a weaver stance is? Weaver stance? Okay. I went into isosceles stance. I went in every stance you could think of. There was a certain portion in the war, I was in a specialized unit that we poured in athletes, right? We started recruiting professional, basically athletes. And I wanted to learn, how are they able to cut through those corners? How are they able to move that ball? How are they able to move and catch a ball, right? Because those are all hand and eye coordination. Right? And what I came out was the best stance is a boxer stance. The best stance is an athletic stance, a fighting stance. So how I do is I draw a line in the sand. And I put my toes on one side of the line, and I put my heels on the other side of the line. Okay? So if you're standing here on both toes on this side of the line, what happens? I get rocked back, right? recoil, rocks me back. Especially if you tense up your shoulders. If you tense up your shoulders and you're doing all this, well, where's that recoil going to go? All that energy is going to go in your shoulders, and in time, if your legs are not stable, you're just going to get rocked back. If you just take one foot and push it forward, drop your knees like it's shocks, right? Dude, you're going to have a better stance. And I still have what? What do I still have? Mobility. I can still fucking move. Okay? So let's just say this. If I go into a weaver stance, do we do weaver stances in here? Do you guys shoot weaver stance? Okay, let's talk about that. So if I have a threat over to my 9 o'clock position, okay? You want to be able to drive, always be able to drive the gun from your 12 to your 3 to your 9. And in one movement, you can rotate and drive from the 12 to the 3 to the 9. Understand how I just covered that with 1 foot movement? All right, so if I'm going into a weaver stance, what I just do? I have no drive to the 9. Understand? So your stance has to be able to drive from the 12 to 3 to the 9, 1 movement from the 12 to the 3 to the 9. Understand that? That's very important in your world. Let me tell you why it's so important in your world. You don't have fucking numbers. You don't have the numbers. It's not that big of a police department, right? And you have a lot of terrain to cover. Okay? You don't have numbers. So understand that you may be rolling on a threat with 1 or maybe 2 guys, if even that. So that's why your field of fire, you have to be able to see and move. Okay? It's not just about this. You have to be able to see everything, the terrain. You have to be able to see cover and concealment. All right? Okay. Any question on stance? From stance, what do we have? Grip. Grip, guys, is the most important thing when it comes to pistol marksmanship. I used to think, oh, front sight, side alignment, side picture. Yes, it's important too. But fuck, man, if I lined you up, side alignment, side picture, you're perfect. And your grip is shit, you think you're going to hit the target? Right. So your grip has to be there first. Right? Think about it, seniors. Right? When you're training these officers or even the junior guys that are going to raise and train the younger officers, think about it. If you're trying to fix his marksmanship and his grip is all fucked, dude, you're kind of jumping around. Okay? The first thing you have to fix is grip. So let's talk about grip first. All right. If I can hold the gun like this, that's the way I'll hold it. All right? Because, but obviously I can't because of the slide mechanics of the weapon. You want high in the weapon. Okay? So if I have any window on the gun, what happens? Right, it's going to tilt. It's going to, the harmonics on the recoil, right? It's going to move around your hands. How many times have you shot, right? You shot and then you did that boom and then you had to re-grip. You guys ever do that? That's because your grip is shit. Okay? I have that problem. Okay? The thing about this is, guys, dude, I went through a lot of training in my career. Okay? I did 23 years in special operations. I did a lot of training. But the thing is, I never crystallized a belief. Right? That means at 21 years old, when I went to counter-terrorist school, when I hit 35, I still revisit those fundamentals. You understand? All right. So let's talk about revisiting the fundamentals. So on the gun, you have a beaver tail on the gun. Okay? Right here. What I want to do is I want to extend my fingers as long as I can, and I want to get high. See how I'm coming up on the gun this way? Right? And I want to pull these 2 fingers as far as I can. All right, so if you're like, why is he doing that? I will never grip a gun up. You have to understand the proper grip. You have to feel how it feels right to have a proper grip. From there, we can adjust the draw. Okay? All right, so you want to pull this, and these 2 fingers right here, I want to extend right here. And I want to grip high underneath the trigger guard. Can everybody see what I'm doing? Right? I want to grip high underneath the trigger guard. The energy now gets transferred up to this position. It's not this position. It gets transferred up to this position. The energy. Okay? So as I grip, watch my grip. I'm turning I'm turning my hands like this. Okay, I'm turning my hands like this. So as I grip, I'm turning my hands like this. These two fingers right here, my middle finger and my ring finger, those are my power fingers. That means that this is my grip. This pinky finger, no grip on the gun. Let me tell you why. If I grip the whole gun, even with my pinky finger, watch the gun pull offline. See? The gun's going to pull offline. It's going to pull offline. The thing about that is the more you engage muscles, what happens? It takes you what? You're going to slow down your what? Fast twitch muscles. Right? You want to release the forearm muscles so you can put them down differently. You have to pop structure. You have to hit structure. You have to pop his hips. Right? If I put 5 rounds on your hip line, you think you're going to get up from that? Okay. The thing about this is when we train in marksmanship training, right, and pistol, and you have to train in marksmanship because if you have to take a hostage rescue shot, right, a low percentage shot. But the thing is, if I put a 5 rounds into a 1-inch grouping, that clean, right, into a human being, or if I put 5 rounds in a 6-inch ring, which one does more damage? Huh? That's right. So your combat marksmanship has to change, right? It's not just about precision shooting. No, it's not about that. It's about putting that fucking guy down with the rounds and where it's going to count. So you have to understand where to put these rounds in the body and how big is that spread that needs to be. If I put 5 rounds in a 6-inch ring, well, where's the fucking doctor going to start on that one? You understand that? And those are hard lessons, man. Right? Those are the lessons we learn, and I lost teammates in these lessons. So when I give you these lessons, I want you to really think about it. Think about your terrain. Think about the threat. Drugs, right? Meth. How are you going to put down somebody with meth? Try to shoot him in the face? I just told you, you shoot him in the cheek, he's not going to go down. You shoot him around here. If it doesn't hit a spinal cord, he's not going to go down. So the shots we're going to worry about today is 5 rounds on a 6-inch spread. 5 rounds on a 6-inch spread on the hip line. Those are what we're going to worry about today. Okay? And we're going to worry about marksmanship because your marksmanship has to be there. Because we have non-combatants in this area. Right? And your marksmanship has to be dead on. Can't miss. All right. Grip. Here, these 2 fingers, I want you to grip here, and I want you to pull, and I want you to move this thumb up. Move the thumb up. And what's going to happen is there's not going to be any more space underneath the beaver tail. Now with this hand right here, this is your drive hand. Right? So look at my drive hand, guys. Look at my drive. It's so important. The drive hand structure. This is the drive hand structure. This is non-broken. See, this is a non-broken structure. Understand? So if Jeff is my target, this is a non-broken structure. See? This is a broken structure. Just that. This, non-broken. This is broken. This is definitely broken. What happened? Why am I explaining this? Because if my wrist is broken, so this is a broken wrist, right? You see it right here? The recoil is going to go to the point of least resistance. It's going to go to the point of weakness. So if your wrist is broken, then you have a weak wrist. So what happens? The recoil is going to snap. Understand? But if I have a straight wrist, what happens? Think about the kinetic energy, how the slide goes back. If I have a straight wrist like this, right, what happens? I don't have any broken structure, so the bone structure, as the recoil kinetic energy goes into my shoulders. It's not going to go into the wrist. Now it goes into my shoulder. Once it goes into the shoulder, if your position is relaxed, that means some of you guys are doing this already. I say, hey, pull out your gun, guys. Right? That's many years of what you perceive as tactical. Okay? That's not tactical. That's not tactical at all. When I say pull out your gun, look at your stance already. You're like this, right? No. Just relax, man. That's my draw. Okay, so put away your gun, please. All right, so let's talk about stance because I'm seeing it mess up. So I remember I trained with some of the best competition shooters in the world, man. Rob Latham, Jerry Barnhart. I was a very tactical shooter, right? That means my combat and strategy was there, but I could be faster on the gun. And what he told me was, too, you're too tactical, man, right? So this means, this is how I used to draw a gun. We do this, right? Is that a tactical stance? Do you feel it? Do you see it? Do you agree that this is a shooting stance? Yes? All right. What he told me, but look at this. Look at my body mechanics. See? Notice how I roll my shoulders forward? Look at my head. My eyes drop. Notice how my neck drops behind the gun like this? See it? You see it? What happens is when you engage all these muscles, right? What happens is now you're engaged in stabilizing muscles. So everything has to stabilize to get you in that position, right? So now you're not only fighting in the gun, you're vitalizing all these different muscles because this is not a natural position. So a natural shooting position is I'm standing there like this, and you and I are having a conversation. See, I'm just standing normal. I'm just going to bring the gun to my eye line. That's it. That's a shooting position. See, look, here. I'm just going to bring the gun up to my eye line. See it? That is a good aggressive position. Look, here, bring it up to the eye line. If I start doing this shit, I'm pulling in all the muscle, I'm exercising, straining my neck muscles and all that, and what's going to happen? What's going to happen? You're not relaxed, and you're going to pull that fucking round off target. Trust me. So the more relaxed you are, the better you are. The better grip you have, the more recoil management you're going to have. Right? Because it's not just about one round, right? It's about putting 5 rounds on target today. 5 rounds on target on a 6-inch dot. That's the standard today. If you can do that, guys, if you can do that, you're going to take down majority of threats because you're knocking out their structure. Okay?